Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Torah Outreach Program, Erev Shabbos, Verse of Inspiration. Today's Verse of Inspiration is dedicated by Mr. Mati Breyer as a schus for his children. May they grow in Torah and Yiras Shamayim. And also, it is dedicated for Yerachmiel Yaakov ben Ethel, that he should have a refuah shlema. And of course, as usual, and hopefully we won't have to say this too many more times, but for our soldiers fighting in Gaza and in the northern parts of Eretz Yisrael, and also for the hostages, that they should be released immediately and unharmed. Parshas Ki Sisa. The beginning of the Parsha deals exactly what we were talking about in Truma, in Tetzaveh, and now again in Ki Sisa, again in Yaakov and Kude, and that is the building of the Mishkan. Yes, the later half of the Parsha deals with the horrible tragedy of the golden calf. But the beginning is all talking about building the Mishkan again. But in the middle of this Mishkan, we've dealt with that question of why so much detail in the Mishkan. But in the middle of building the Mishkan, we have a pasuk that says, "Ve'ata tedaber al bnei Yisrael lemor." You should speak to Bnei Yisrael, saying, "Ach es shabsosai tishmaru." My Shabbos says, plural, tishmaru, you should guard. Ki os he, because it is a sign, beini ubeinechem, between me and you, l'dorosechem, for all generations. L'das, so you should know, ki ani Hashem mikadishchem, that I am God that has sanctified you, that has made you special. Again, what is this doing here? Why this statement about Shabbos right in the middle of building the Mishkan? And the wording is very strange. Shabsosai, my Shabbos says, plural. Ki os he, because it is a sign. Plural or singular, which one? And what's it doing here? So as far as what it's doing here, so the Meforshim, the commentaries say that if we don't keep Shabbos, if we profane the Shabbos, we don't deserve to have the Mishkan. We don't deserve to build the Mishkan, or the Beis HaMikdash, or the Temple, because this is a sign between me and you. And if you're not keeping that sign, that connection, so what's the use of the Mishkan? As I've mentioned many times before, our Mishkan, our tabernacle, that follows us wherever we go, that mini Beis HaMikdash, is Shabbos. But what is Shabbos? So this pasuk, this verse explains it. Os. It's a sign. It's a sign that God has sanctified us. Translation of sanctified, made us special. How? What is this sign? And why the plural? And why the singular? So Shabsosai. My Shabbos says, plural. The main statements about Shabbos are in the tablets, the luchos, what we like to call the Ten Commandments. Although, again, as I mentioned many times previously, 10 statements representing all 613 commandments. But in any case, it's mentioned 2 different times. Here in our book of Shmos, in the Parsha of Yisroel, where the Torah is given, it says, Zochar es Yom HaShabbos L'Kasho. Remember the Shabbos and make it holy. I don't like that word. Special. And in the Eschanan, later towards the end of the Torah, in Sefer Devarim, in the book of Devarim, last book, It says, Zochor, Shomer es Yom HaShabbos. Guard the Shabbos to keep it holy. We're taught, the reason is said, one is said here and one is said there, even though it's just a repetition. Over there at the end of the Torah, it's a repetition of the receiving of the Torah, just going through everything that we had seen before. But we're using a different word. It's because the way it was given is impossible to explain on paper. And that is the words shamor, to guard, and zachor, remember, were said simultaneously. Something that we can't fathom. Those words were said at the exact same time and heard at the exact same time from God at Mount Sinai. Why were they said at the same time? Well, first we have to understand what they mean. Shamor, guard, protect. Don't do things that would profane, ruin the Shabbos. The laws, the 39 categories of work that we learned from building the tabernacle. Those 39 categories of work. Shamor, guard yourself. Don't do that on Shabbos. Zachor said simultaneously to show that it's equally as important, and that is kavod Shabbos, the positives, honor Shabbos, clean up for Shabbos, prepare for Shabbos, make things nice, proper, respectful, as if you were entertaining the king, because you are. God himself visits us, so to speak, comes to our homes on Shabbos, sits at our table. He is the king that we're entertaining on Shabbos. That's Zachar. Do things. Remember to do the positive, the respect, the honor, the nice clothing, the bathing before, the cleaning up the house. But there's also another part of Zachar, positive. Owning. Enjoy. Eat nicer. Walk slower. Rest. Relax. Try to be one with yourself, one with your family, one with God. It's a time to slow down and enjoy. So Shabsosai, my plural Shabbos is two. The negative, the don't do's, and the positive, the do's. And they're equally as important because they are both he, each one. This one is assigned he, this. He, this one is assigned, that one, each one is assigned in its own. What is it assigned? It's a separate sign. Each one is a separate sign. The positives, the owning, the enjoyment. It's a sign of God's love for us. He wants us to enjoy this day. He wants us to take advantage of all the things we're not allowed to do and use it to do things on a more relaxing and more intimate level with Him. Enjoy it. But the kavod and the negative, the don't do's, that's another sign. That's a sign of our love for Him. We refrain from doing things that will take us away from our relationship, that will take us away from focusing on God and focusing on family and each other. Don't do that to show your love for God. An oath, a sign of your love. And the kavod, the honor, also a sign of our love for God. So there you have it. He, each one separately. Shamor is an oath of our love for God. Zachar is an oath. Remember to keep the Shabbos and make it special and enjoy it, that's his love for us. Shabbos is a day that we have this sign that makes us special. It makes us who we are.